Guys, this is something I want to talk about for a while because it came up in conversation when my friend was visiting me. So both of us went to University of Pennsylvania, both of us Ivy Leaguers, and we were reflecting on this Asian parenting thing that when they want their kids to go to college, it's all about why don't you go to the top ranking one that you can get into. It's all about that. They don't think about maybe we can save some money and we can go to a state school. And maybe the education's not good. I don't know. I've never been to a state school, college-wise. But they just don't even fathom that. And it's something that I reflected on with my friend because if you think about the job environment, corporate world, startup world, etc., after you graduate from college, how many Ivy Leaguers or how many top 10 college graduates are you going to stumble on? And that's what this video is about. Because what Asian parents don't think about when they're trying to encourage their kids to get into the Ivy Leagues, to get into the top 10 USA News ranked schools. First of all, that ranking's bullshit anyways. It's like all paid and rigged. But let's say it's completely truthful and those objectively are the top 10, top 15, top 20 schools. You get into those schools, you are the top of your class, right? So you are very smart. But now you're put with people at your level, if not better. So I don't even know if you're going to get the best education, but you definitely are going to get your confidence destroyed because before you were objectively very smart. It was shown in high school, and now you could be not even average anymore, and you're in the bubble. You don't understand that that's not the real world. Whereas some of your peers who, let's say, went to a top 50, top 100, top 200 school or went to a state school, maybe they even went to community college for 2 years, then transferred, they're getting a good education, but they're not suffering the psychological, mental effects from going to a school that's way too much of a pressure cooker that doesn't represent society and life. And they get better grades, very likely. Because if it is the case that the instruction's easier or they're not among as competitive people, their grades are probably better, right? An A at, let's say, University of Texas is probably different than an A at Harvard. But it doesn't matter in the GPA once you graduate. First of all, employers don't even look at the GPA, but certain jobs might. And they're going to say, oh, this guy went to Yale and he got a 3.0, but this guy went to University of Texas, got a 4.0. I'm sure they're going to see these things. And so you have these very smart Asian kids who go to college and their confidence is destroyed even more because they're at a college that doesn't need to be that hard, but it is. And then a lot of their peers, maybe some of the same peers that they didn't kind of felt jealous or felt angry that this kid got into the Ivy League, they're now at state schools doing very well, and they're probably pretty smart in their own opinions, and they're just more functional after college. And of course, dude, if you're in college and you're studying all the time, you're probably not socializing, right? So you miss out on understanding social dynamics, on gaining certain things like EQ, which is very important for life. So I find it, I think, very interesting that maybe objectively some Asian kids that go to really, really good colleges might have better paying jobs, but I think quality of life-wise, just happiness-wise, etc., assimilation-wise, it's actually those Asians that didn't go to the top tier schools that actually end up doing better later on in life because you're at a state school, you're at some place that represents a more general population of America. You interact with more very diverse people. So we're just talking about this because I don't know about you guys, but for me, I've worked many different types of jobs, and almost always I was the only Ivy Leaguer. And it's not like I was that much better. I was slightly better than my peers at many, many things. I was slightly better than my bosses a lot of the times. But it wasn't like I was that much better. But my coworkers seemed just better adjusted to life, to little quirks that I had to sort of play catch up with because I was too busy at a pressure cooker environment that served me more disadvantages than advantages. That's what we're talking about. And I wanted to bring you guys on and discuss this. Do you think forcing or very, very strongly suggesting to your kids, especially for Asian parents, but it doesn't have to be, you can just talk about anyone that goes to the Ivy League, but I think for Asian kids especially, it's a big thing. And if you're an awkward white guy, I think it's just, you get more passes in American society because the population, the majority here is white, right? Or if you're an awkward black guy, it's the same thing. There's a lot of black people. They have a lot of black media, etc. People aren't going to give you just one chance to be like, oh, screw this person. But for Asian people, especially those higher functioning, high intelligence, you can always say maybe savant-like Asian people, I feel like the worst thing to do is to send them to an even more savant-level school and not develop the other holistic characters you need in life. Social skills, emotional intelligence, dating intelligence, financial intelligence, all this stuff, man. So what do you think as Asian parents you can do to kind of encourage your kids to adapt better to American society? And that's all. I'm just going to pose it to you guys. And I'm sure the answer is not as simple as don't send them to Ivy League schools. There's probably many, many options, many, many solutions, and it depends on the person. But if there's anything you get out of this, and I know a lot of my audience is starting to get older, they are starting to have kids. So for my Asian audience that's starting to have kids, think twice before you send your kids to a magnet school or a boarding school or later on in life to top 10 college or something like that. Maybe that's not what they want. Maybe they need some years to explore. Maybe they need a few years just to feel like they're the best. It helps their confidence. And then, let the real world beat down on them. It's going to beat down on you no matter what. Even if you went to Harvard and got like 3 degrees, the real world is still different. It's still going to beat down on you. But the difference is your confidence is already beat down when you got out of Harvard. So what are you going to do now? Okay, that's enough, man. I'm repeating myself. Just a little reflection, a little thought. Wow, I talked for 8 minutes. How did I do that? Anyways, bye-bye.